My sister's groom raises his champagne glass, points directly at me across the crystal-decorated reception hall, and his voice booms with that confident cruelty only privileged men possess. "Here's to not living a worthless life like this lady over there," he announces, and 200 guests turn to stare at me, the family disappointment in my simple black dress. Laughter ripples through the crowd like a wave, and I catch my sister Vanessa's eyes sparkling with satisfaction as she loops her arm through her new husband's. I should be mortified. I should leave. But then I see him. Richard Caldwell, one of the most powerful men in entertainment, cutting through the crowd toward me with an expression of complete disbelief. His hand extends, trembling slightly. And he says the 5 words that make the entire room go silent. "May I have your autograph?" My sister's face drains of color. Her groom's smile freezes. And suddenly, nobody is laughing anymore. You won't believe what happens next. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let me know where you're listening from in the comments. My name is Maya Thornton, and I am the founder and CEO of Thornton Media Productions. I have spent the last 8 years building one of the most respected independent film companies in the industry. 12 award-winning films, partnerships with major studios, a $30 million grant program that launches emerging filmmakers' careers. But my family has no idea about any of this. To them, I am just Maya, the daughter who wasted her college education chasing silly entertainment dreams, while my younger sister Vanessa became the golden child with her respectable real estate career. I stopped trying to tell them about my success years ago. 3 Thanksgivings back, I mentioned winning the Sundance Innovation Award, and my father changed the subject to ask Vanessa about her latest home sale. 2 years ago, I invited everyone to a film premiere. Not one person showed up. Mom called it one of Maya's little projects. So I learned to keep my professional life and my family life in completely separate worlds. It was easier than constantly fighting to be seen. That is why I showed up to Vanessa's wedding alone, wearing a simple black dress, assigned to table 18 in the back, near the kitchen doors. My mother, Patricia, greeted me with a tight smile and said, "Oh, you actually came. Vanessa was not sure you would." I took my seat with distant cousins who looked just as confused about why we were banished to the cheap seats, and I watched my sister marry Derek Hartley, an aspiring film producer who had been trying to break into the industry for years with absolutely nothing to show for it. The wedding was extravagant, way beyond what Vanessa could afford on her income. I overheard family members whispering about the loans she took out to fund this spectacle, all because Derek promised her his big production deal was coming through any day now. His stepfather was Richard Caldwell, a legendary entertainment mogul, and Derek had been telling everyone that his big break was guaranteed. Vanessa believed him. She bet everything on his potential. During the toasts, Derek grabbed the microphone, slightly drunk and feeling powerful. He started with generic thank yous, then his tone shifted into something uglier. "You know, I want to take a moment to appreciate what real success looks like," he said, his eyes scanning the room until they landed on me. "Because in life, you have people who chase pipe dreams, who waste their potential on fantasies that never pan out." He pointed directly at me. "Here's to not living a worthless life like this lady over there. Here's to making real choices, building real careers, and not embarrassing your family with delusions of grandeur." The room erupted in laughter. Vanessa beamed. My parents looked satisfied, like this validated every criticism they had thrown at me for the past decade. I sat frozen, every eye on me, my hands shaking under the table. I was about to stand up and leave when I saw movement from the head table. Richard Caldwell stood up, his face a mixture of shock and fury. He started walking toward me, cutting through the confused crowd. Derek noticed and looked puzzled. "Dad, what are you doing?" Richard ignored him completely. He reached my table, slightly breathless, and stared at me like he had seen a ghost. "Ms. Thornton?" he said carefully. "I did not realize. I thought you looked familiar at the ceremony, but I assumed. May I have your autograph? My daughter is a huge fan of your work." The entire ballroom went silent. Vanessa's smile vanished. Derek went pale. My parents looked utterly lost, and Richard Caldwell, one of the most powerful men in entertainment, continued. I have been trying to get a meeting with Thornton Media for 6 months. Your company is revolutionary. I stood slowly, extended my hand, and said the words that would change everything. Mr. Caldwell, it is good to see you again. We met at the Westwood Gala last month when I announced those production grants. Your company received $30 million. The words $30 million echoed through the silent room, and I watched my family's entire world shatter in real time. The morning after the wedding, I woke up to 47 missed calls. My phone was flooded with texts from my mother, my father, Vanessa, even relatives I had not heard from in years. They all wanted to talk. Suddenly. Urgently. I made my coffee, sat on my balcony overlooking the city, and read through every desperate message without responding to a single one. My mother's text started with, "We need to talk," and evolved into, "Please answer, your sister needs you." Vanessa was more direct. "You could have told me who you were. You let me make a fool of myself." Derek sent just one message. "We should discuss the production grant professionally." I deleted nothing, but I responded to nothing. When my assistant Jordan called asking about someone named Vanessa Hartley claiming to be my sister, I told him to forward all family calls to my personal line and never engage professionally. Then I asked him to pull Derek Hartley's grant application. I wanted to review it myself. "Already on your desk," Jordan said. "For what it is worth, boss, it is not great." That afternoon, I finally agreed to meet my family. I walked into my parents' house to find everyone assembled like some kind of intervention. My mother immediately tried to hug me, but I stepped back. "Worried about what exactly?" I asked when she said they had been worried. The room went quiet. My father cleared his throat. "Maya, we owe you an apology. We clearly misunderstood the scope of your career." "You did not misunderstand," I said calmly. "You never asked. There is a difference." Vanessa's eyes were red from crying. "You should have told us. How were we supposed to know you were some big-shot CEO?" I looked at her directly. I tried. Multiple times. 3 years ago at Thanksgiving, I mentioned my company won the Sundance Innovation Award. Dad changed the subject to your real estate sales. 2 years ago, I invited all of you to a film premiere. Nobody came. You called it one of my little projects. My mother got defensive. "We did not know it was important." "Exactly my point," I interrupted. "It was only important once someone you respected validated it." Derek finally spoke up. "Look, what I said at the wedding was out of line. I had too much to drink. I apologize." I held his gaze. "You apologize because your stepfather recognized me, not because what you said was cruel." Vanessa broke down. "Maya, please. I am drowning in debt from this wedding. Derek promised his production deal would cover everything. We need—" She stopped herself, but everyone knew what she almost said. "We need you." The next day, I sat in my office reviewing Derek's grant application with my development team. His project was a vanity piece about his stepfather's rise in entertainment. My colleague Sarah pulled up the assessment. Hard pass. Ranked 47th out of 52 applications. Derivative concept, weak execution. "And our top candidates?" I asked. Sarah's face lit up. 3 exceptional projects: an immigrant story, a climate refugee documentary, and a coming-of-age film. All brilliant. "Schedule calls with all 3, I said, "and process Derek's application the same way we would anyone else. No special treatment." 2 days later, I met with Richard Caldwell professionally. We discussed collaborations, distribution deals, emerging talent initiatives. Near the end, he brought up Derek. I told him I would not be backing his film project. Richard said quietly, "He needs to find his own path. He is not taking it well." He paused. "I heard he applied for your grant. I want to be clear. I have no expectations. If his project has merit, fund it. If it does not, reject it. Please do not let family drama influence your decision." "That was always my intention," I replied. The pressure from my family escalated over the next week. My mother showed up at my office. "Your sister is having panic attacks. You could help her with one phone call." "I could," I said. "But why is it my responsibility to fix the consequences of her choices?" "Because she is your sister. Family helps family." "Family respects family," I shot back. "Family does not mock each other's careers for decades and then demand help when it becomes convenient." Derek started introducing himself to my professional contacts as Maya Thornton's brother-in-law, fishing for information about the grant. 3 different colleagues told me he was telling people I was working through family stuff, but that he was confident about his application. He was manipulating the narrative. Again. Finally, decision day arrived. My team presented the 3 finalists. After careful consideration, I chose Maria Gonzalez's Immigrant Story, a film about fighting to be seen, to be valued, despite everyone telling you that you do not belong. "Send standard rejection letters to everyone else," I instructed, including Derek Hartley, no special mention. The announcement went public that afternoon. Within an hour, Vanessa emailed me. "You just destroyed my marriage and my life out of spite. I will never forgive you." But she had no idea what was coming next, because Maria Gonzalez was about to partner with Richard Caldwell's production company, creating exactly the kind of industry collaboration that launches careers. And Derek? He started giving interviews, playing the victim, claiming I sabotaged his application out of family revenge. The story was about to go very, very public. And I had to decide, stay silent or tell the whole truth. Derek went public, appearing on entertainment podcasts playing the victim. "My sister-in-law runs Thornton Media," he said with fake sadness. "When I applied for their grant, I thought family would support family. Instead, she retaliated against me for a misunderstanding at my wedding." That is the entertainment industry. Personal vendettas over talent. The video went viral. Vanessa posted about family betrayal on social media. My PR team panicked, but I made a decision that would change everything. I agreed to a live interview on Industry Insider. "Maya Thornton, there have been allegations your grant decision was influenced by personal conflict," the host said. "What is your response?" I looked directly into the camera. Derek Hartley's project ranked 47th out of 52 applications. It was evaluated by my team before I even knew he had applied, and before his wedding toast. The assessment was based solely on quality. "Can you elaborate on the toast?" I paused, then spoke my truth. At Derek's wedding, he publicly called my life worthless in front of 200 guests. He mocked my career. The irony is that my family had no idea I was the CEO of the company he later applied to. They assumed I had failed. The host was stunned. "You kept your success hidden?" "Not hidden." I stopped sharing after years of being dismissed. My family's narrative about me was fixed. I chose not to fight it anymore. The interview exploded across social media. The entertainment community rallied around me. Other filmmakers tweeted their support. Richard Caldwell released a statement backing my integrity. Derek's opportunities vanished overnight. Vanessa deleted her social media accounts. My mother called saying I did not have to destroy him publicly. "I did not destroy him, Mom," I said quietly. I told the truth. A week later, Vanessa asked to meet. She looked exhausted. "I have lost everything," she said through tears. "Derek and I are separated. The debt is crushing me. Why did you never tell me who you really were?" "Because I did not need to prove anything to you," I replied. Success is not about making others feel small. That is what Derek did to me. She broke down. "I was jealous my whole life. You were the smart one, the creative one. For once, I felt successful. Then it turned out you were succeeding the entire time. I never wanted to compete with you, Vanessa. I just wanted to be seen. What do I do now?" "You rebuild. Like I did. You do the work." 6 months later, I stood at Maria Gonzalez's film premiere watching her dream come to life. The movie was powerful, beautiful, everything I hoped it would be. Richard Caldwell approached me afterward. "That was remarkable. This is what the grant program is about." My parents attended too. They approached nervously. The film was incredible, my father said. You have a real gift. Thank you for coming, I replied simply. My mother added, we have been talking about how we treated you. We want to do better. Actions, not words, I said. That is what I need. 1 year later, I was preparing for the next grant cycle when I saw Vanessa's application, a documentary about family favoritism and its lasting impact. I had my team evaluate it blindly, just like every other submission. It did not win, but it made the final 10 and 3 studios expressed interest. Happy for her growth. I ran into Derek on the street months later. He nodded. I nodded back. No words needed. He walked one direction, I walked another. They wanted me to feel worthless. Instead, I created worth for others. I did not build my company to prove them wrong. I built it because I believed in stories that needed to be told. And that is not revenge. That is legacy. Thanks for listening to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about standing up for yourself and never letting anyone define your worth.